In order to effectively integrate technology into the classroom, students need to first be made aware of their role as a digital citizen, and they can do this by analyzing their digital footprint, using Wordle or Tagxedo to create word clouds of their Facebook posts, Twitter tweets, blog posts, or even text messages. Students can then analyze their word clouds to see which words most frequently show up and appear. And this is a word cloud I created from my blog posts, and as you can see, these are the things that I write most about. Wordle can also be used for visual analysis and prediction for reading text in the English classroom. Students can, or the teacher can, copy-paste the text of a short story into Wordle and create a word cloud. And then students can analyze the word cloud to see which words appear most frequently, make predictions based on the story, or even notice themes. The word cloud here at the bottom of the page is from Eliza Doolittle's final monologue in George Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion. And prior to the students reading the play, they can analyze this word cloud and then be able to make connections and predictions based on what they might read in the text. For making classroom materials easily accessible to students, the teacher can use a screencasting tool such as Screencast-O-Matic and record a video of going over a worksheet, going over answers, so that students can access this information at any time, whether at home or in the classroom. Additionally, the screencasting tool could be used to create personalized messages or personalized instructions for students. In the case of this video here, one of my students on Homebound was having trouble understanding how to use Edmodo. And in this video clip, I was able to walk her through accessing the backpack and direct messages so that she could easily still be a part of class. Another way to use the screencasting tool is for recording PowerPoints. In February, I do a 2-day lecture to the entire 9th grade on the Trojan War, and it's quite a lot of information to digest. And oftentimes students complain that teachers go too fast in PowerPoint lectures. So by taking the PowerPoint, turning it into a video, and the students can then access this at any time at home or at school. They can also hit pause to be able to record the information and then hit play to continue it, or if they miss something, they can even rewind the video and go back to make sure that they have all the information. Technology in the classroom doesn't just have to be about information acquisition. It can also be a tool for promoting creativity. In the case of this activity here, students would use their smartphone devices to access QR codes, and the QR code would take them to a picture, whereby they would then analyze the picture and then write up a response, a creative response using descriptive language. The case of this assignment, my students posted into their small groups in Edmodo, and then other students would reply to the students and would explain what they liked about the prompt, what they disliked about it, and ways to make the writing even better. QR codes could also be used to teach students about technology operations. In the case of this activity, students could use the QR codes using Paint and other tools to draw or sketch or colorize the QR code to enhance it. Because the QR code by itself is rather bland, but if you add a little something to it, you can enhance it and then maybe even make kind of like a hidden message within it, that by looking at the QR code, you could guess what it is that, what it will take you to. In the case of this QR code here, you can see the design of the eye on it. If you scan this code with your phone, it would take you to my representation of my PLN. I actually used Tagxedo for this project and used a picture of my eye, which I then uploaded into Tagxedo and created a word cloud based on my PLN. It's interesting the things that you can see in unlikely places. In addition to QR codes, students can also use their devices to work around class presentations. Instead of standing up in front of the class presenting information, students can use their cell phones and their voice recorders on their phones to record conversations or class projects or presentations. For this assignment, students worked in groups and used a list of idioms from the 1930s, and they had to come up with a quick 30-second conversation using the idioms from the 1930s. The recordings were then posted on Edmodo for students to listen to, and they got a kick out of being able to work collaboratively on this assignment and creatively to get a feel for the dialogue of the 1930s that would be an introduction to Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men. Student devices can also be used for analytic projects that promote critical thinking and synthesis. In the case of this project here, students would engage in CSI Salinas using the context of Mice and Men, the novel by Steinbeck. Students would engage in investigative activities where they would analyze the text as if they were an investigator who wanted to understand the motives and circumstances surrounding the death of various characters in the book. Students would work collaboratively using word processing skills, would be thinking critically to analyze the text, to collect physical evidence, and then as their final project, the students would use their devices to create CSI or Law and Order type projects, crime scene photographs or witness testimonies. They could have pictures of the various witnesses. They could have of the crime scene as well, and in this case here also type up an outline of their argument. And this project is a great project on multiple levels for getting them to evaluate sources, to understand information, and to think critically. Another way to promote and model digital citizenship and assess student learning is through structured Socratic discussions. In this video by Edutopia, Kip King Collegiate High School teachers facilitated fishbowl discussions in their classroom. Now, applying technology to this activity, teachers can use the Web 2.0 tool of today's Meet to have a back channel discussion during the class discussion that's going on. So the classroom would be set up in a square shape with an inner circle. This would be turned around to face as an inner circle, and then you would have an outer circle. And then students who are in the outer circle would be part of the conversation by using today's Meet. And they would use the back channel to ask questions, to comment, to make assessments, and to even evaluate their classmates while the conversation is going on. Now, initially there's always a little bit of silliness within the back channel when students first use today's Meet, but then once they settle down and get into the conversation, you can see that there's a lot of critical thinking going on and collaborative learning. Assessments can also be done quick and easily with other Web 2.0 tools, such as the website Big Huge Labs. Students can use pictures, upload to create trading cards, movie posters. In the case of this assignment, my students created trading cards for characters in an independent reading novel. I can easily and quickly assess their learning of the independent read based on the choices that they make in the card, based on the description of the character in the card. I can easily determine whether he or she has read the novel. In the case of this student, I could tell that this one did not read the novel because if he had read it fully through and paid careful attention, the student would know that the Queen Dragon is not purple, but instead gold. So, assessments don't have to be as laborious as, say, a class discussion or a written test. They can be done quickly. As far as assessments go, the teacher does not need to just be the one that's doing the assessing, nor do assessments need to be formal and graded. Assessments can be formative instead of summative, and student learning can be facilitated through small groups on Edmodo. In the case of here, this is small groups in my honors English class. My students are broken up into small groups, and here they would post various activities and assignments that we have done. We have some movie posters from their independent read, A Dog's Purpose. We have comments made by students on each other's projects. They were all using big, huge labs, appropriately enough, to create their movie posters. Here we have examples of word clouds done in Tagxedo, and students are required to participate on Edmodo and give comments and constructive feedback. So this is also promoting critical thinking, it's promoting evaluation skills and digital citizenship and appropriateness in how they comment on each other's work. Student learning can also take place beyond the physical bounds of the classroom. By using technology to connect students together, in this case with the Blank White Page project, students can engage in critical thinking activities with students across the country. This project is done collaboratively with 3 other teachers, 1 in North Carolina, 2 that are in California. All of our students would enter their information here, enter their question in on the Blank White Page, and then the teachers, we have gone through and posted all the students' questions here. Now once the students would go to this page, pick a question, research it, analyze it, and then they have to come up with, at some point in the course of the school year, come up with some kind of answer. In the case of one of Mr. Thomason's students, came up with the answers to the questions would be posted here on this page. You can see one of Mr. Thomason's students posted a web page about answering the question, is Bigfoot really real? Now what's great about this project, like even though this isn't necessarily global, this is done on a national scale, this is a project that could be adapted for global classrooms and a way for students to get to know each other. Easily done on a Google site, just find teachers to work with. Teachers can always be found on Edmodo, connecting through the various communities. I've connected with teachers in Australia and Scotland, and collaborative projects could be as complex as this Blank White Page project, or they could be just as simple as commenting on student blog posts. Easily done, all of it easily done with technology. Collaborating with teachers can also be done in person. We don't just have to do it online through Edmodo. Here I have my notes from EdCamp New Jersey, which I attended on December 1st. Talking about high and low tech solutions for learning. We have cell phones in the classroom, storytelling in the classroom, and even how to use rubber bands to keep desks together. Also, there's information on how to run your own EdCamp so that teachers can work collaboratively and learn how to better integrate technology in the classroom. Not only can students benefit from technology, but so can teachers. Here's a resource for teachers to use called Clacko. It's an online site for teachers to store all of their information and resources, whether it be web pages or worksheets or documents. They can be organized and tagged, as well as listed by standards, which is very convenient. Another tool for productivity is using remote desktop. By using this Ericom Access Now client, teachers can access remote servers at their school through the Chrome browser. By inserting the, making it part of their Chrome browser, all you have to do is just open up another tab within the browser, and then one window can be for your school server, the remote desktop, and then the other window can be for working on whatever it is that you need to work on your desktop. In conclusion, there's numerous ways for teachers to integrate technology, not just for themselves and for their professional development, but also for student learning.